The 7-5 Tampa Bay Buccaneers are at home this week, welcoming in the now 500 Minnesota Vikings for a rumble in the jungle in this case, found in the trenches when the Vikings try and run the ball.
Cook with the cutback, and he's got room. Dalvin Cook.
In one corner, you have Dalvin Cook, the NFL's rush yards king, around 5 yards a run and leading the league in rushing TDs.
Like a bullet break. Oh, he's gone!
He was under 4 yards a carry last week, but talk about a workhorse. 32 carries, 120 yards.
If that's where we're used to seeing from Dalvin Cook.
In the other corner, you have the Buccaneers' run defense, just 3.3 yards per carry and just 74.2 yards per game.
If you're going to run the ball, that's not going to happen against this Tampa front.
They have Ndamukong Suh and William Golston up front in the middle, both guys with 30-plus tackles and 7 TFLs each.
Suh has a hole.
And then right behind them, it's Levante David and Devin White, 90-plus tackles each, 19 tackles for losses between them.
Just puts a hit on Cam Akers.
So this is where we check in on the Vikings passing offense. Then Kirk Cousins last week going for over 300 yards, 3 TDs, and a rating just under 100.
The action, a nice block, cut back and into the end zone.
And their wide receiver combo is coming in hot too. Adam Thielen was back and immediately made an impact.
Back in the end zone, Thielen for the touchdown.
And then there's that other guy everyone in Minnesota is so gritty about.
Looking deep for Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson put up another monster game last week, 9 catches, 121 yards plus a score.
Cousins lofts that to Jefferson in the end zone, touchdown.
Tampa's pass D has regressed as the season has worn along too. Their rankings in TD passes allowed, yards allowed, completion percentage allowed, all south of average.
Now you want a deep ball? Here it is, 75 yards.
Bucks pass rush though might be able to help out in this one. Their top 10 in sacks, Jason Pierre-Paul leading them with 8.5.
Getting to him was JPP.
And Cousins was sacked 4 times by the Jaguars, who were last in sacks going into that game.
Pocket collapses and he's sacked.
Tom Brady, on the other hand, usually does have time, but it may be that he still needs more time with Antonio Brown.
In the direction of Antonio Brown.
Brady's numbers overall are solid. 28 TDs, 11 interceptions, rating in the mid-90s.
He's open! Evans for the touchdown!
But Brady's passer rating has been under 100 in 3 of his last 4 games. The Buccaneers have lost 3 of their last 4.
Pass is intercepted.
It's not just that their poor play over their last 4 coincides with Brown's arrival. It's the difference between his production and the guy who lost playing time to him.
Second catch down for AB.
Brown is averaging 5.8 yards per target, 8.4 yards per catch.
Antonio Brown in heavy traffic.
Scotty Miller, on the other hand, has averaged 9.6 yards per target, 15.3 per catch.
Look at the Scotty Miller, and has Miller.
And Miller has had 20 or fewer snaps in each of the last 4 games.
And good to Scotty Miller.
And then there's their erratic use of their run game, which they should be jonesing to use more.
Jones breaks it. Gets 34 on this gallop.
Ronald Jones is hitting at over 5 yards a run, but has 10 or fewer carries in 4 of his last 5 games.
But Jones just makes a miss with a movement.
Minnesota is a team you'd expect them to crank the run meter up on too. 5 yards a carry to the Jags last week, around 4.5 allowed per run for the season.
First down, pick up a 13.
Their D held its own against the pass last week, picked off Mike Glennon twice, held him to a sub-75 rating.
Glennon intercepted.
But that was against Glennon. Their season numbers against the pass aren't anything to write home about.
Good catch by Jones and a Detroit touchdown.
So maybe we'll see a huge dance-off breakout in this one. AB on one side getting jiggy with it, JJ on the other side getting gritty with it. I don't know how to do either of those dances, or whether the jiggy was even a dance. But I do know how the comments section works. Your predictions go there, ours go on the graphic, while I learn how to dance.
It's a big subject this week. Perfectly thrown that time, and here he is from the pocket, going underneath. Going to Ronald Jones. High stepping it down the sideline. Touchdown.
Glennon in trouble.